Hey, Street Talking Other Stuff. Mike, Mad Dog Magnati, thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate you being here. Now, look, there are two performances at our local high schools. At Eastmont High School, the show is The Lightning Thief. And at Wenatchee High School, it's the 20th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Both are excellent. We saw both this weekend. Incredible talent we're having, and actually, frankly, I hope some people aren't listening, but the show at Eastmont was probably one of the best shows I've seen there. Forgive me, my guest, but it was an incredible show. And the Putnam County Spelling Bee sounds like it might be a little boring, but it is quirky, it is funny, you will thank me, okay? But that's this weekend, I believe Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, both shows, both schools, and I believe there's a Saturday matinee, and you can go to the school websites where you can get your tickets, or if you can't find it, email me, maddog@nwi.net, and I can steer you in the right direction. But hey, great to have you here. Appreciate it. And I got a really cool guest. Very thrilled to have this person back on again. But a couple of things. You know, there was a lion roaming through the jungle, very hungry, and he came upon two men. One man was reading a book, and the other man was busily writing. So do you know why the lion ate the man who was writing and not the man who was reading? Well, no, wait a minute. It's the other way around. The lion ate the reader, not the writer, because readers digest and writers cramp. Oh, I ruined that one. And then did you hear about the pregnant woman who was in the hospital having a baby? She went to the labor and she started yelling, couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, didn't, can't. Well, she was having contractions. Okay, thanks for bearing with me so long. I'm not doing real well this morning, but I do have a really cool guest. You're going to love this one. But Street Talking Other Stuff, you stick around. We will be right back. So.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an Environmentally Green Dealership Award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side. You can just lifetime warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hey, Street Talking Other Stuff, and I am very happy to have one of my favorite people in the whole world, an exemplary human being, my buddy, who I'm proud to say is my friend, Matthew Pippin.
Hi.
Good to have you.
Good morning.
Good. So what's going on? You know?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, just wanted to come
Well, street talking other stuff.
Thanks for being here. No, I got another book coming
I
out.
know you do, but before we get into that,
Okay.
just a little background on yourself, for because we keep having new listeners every week. I think there's one or two.
Oh, sweet.
Over the 3 or 4 we had last week, so you may tell them a little bit
All
about
6
yourself.
of the
you
people
know?
out there.
So go ahead.
Well, I grew up here in the Valley. I was
Yes,
born and
you
raised
did.
here in the
Yeah.
Valley. And my parents were on the police force. That's how you and I met.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
He kept arresting me. And then I went to acting school in New York, and I came back to the Valley, and I stay busy in the theater world here, to the point that I'm about as popular as back hair. And then last year, I found a story I wrote when I was 24, when I was still living in New York, and I thought, why not finish what you
Okay,
started?
so you wrote this quite some time ago.
Yeah.
What prompted the writing of this particular? Well, hold it up.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it up. Yeah, this is called
my
Nine
Nine
Strangers. This is
Strangers.
Matthew's first book.
My first,
and
I
it's
thought-
available on Amazon.
Yeah,
correct?
on
So-
Amazon, and they also have physical copies for sale at the old bookshop,
Right,
and the museum.
Oh,
sells my
cool.
book too,
Okay.
which is Book for All Seasons up in Leavenworth has
all
a
right,
copy
good.
for sale. And anyway, I used to write short stories just to entertain myself, and this started off as a short story, but then it just kept growing in my head. The more I wrote, the more it was just kind of taken over, and became its own little entity of these 9 people that I absolutely love and adore.
Okay, so basically, without giving away, any spoilers, that type of thing, what's the story of this book?
I'll tell you.
Please.
Just after the Christmas holidays, a bus crash in upstate New York leaves 9 people fighting for their lives during one of the worst blizzards in recorded history of the Empire State. Not all is as it seems amongst the survivors in their isolated sanctuary, and it could be more than the frigid elements that death is using to collect them.
Ooh. Did you write that yourself?
I did.
Now, let me see. I see the picture on the back. Oh, that is you.
That
okay,
is
I
me,
thought
yeah.
at first, it wasn't.
Well, it was me a few years ago, quite a few years ago.
Okay, well,
And-
you're still, strikingly handsome.
Oh, I didn't say I wasn't, but I've certainly put on the weight. And in fact, I had somebody, they picked up this book and they said, well, this isn't you. And okay. And I had another person pick up this book and they were reading, they got through the first line and then went, not local. And I went, what do you mean it's not local? Can't you read? Do you even know what you sell? This says New York. It takes place in New York.
Okay, so this person didn't want to read it because it's not local?
Wasn't local. And I said,
I mean, that kind of limits their literary selections.
100%. And I said, well, I'm pretty damn local, I was born here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why didn't you set it in Wenatchee? And I said, well, there's other places outside of Wenatchee. And she didn't like that answer.
Oh,
You can't make everybody happy.
No, you don't need negative people like that in your life. So, okay, so how's the reception for this book been?
If I was Stephen King, I'm sure I'd be disappointed. But I am not Stephen King. I am beyond over the moon thrilled.
Well, do you know, you mentioned Stephen King. Do you know that a lot of his early books were written under a pseudonym because he kept writing so much that he didn't want to flood the market with his stuff?
Yeah, Richard Bachman.
Yeah, okay, all right,
Yeah.
good. Well, you are. Boy,
And
he's a smart guy. Knows a lot of stuff.
well, I'm a big believer in you got to know where you came from,
Yeah.
and I want to see how the competition's doing, And no, he. But for me, I've sold 500 copies of my book,
Oh,
and
wow.
which is 10,000 times more than I thought.
I bought one.
I know, and I'm
bought
so
one.
thrilled. And he even read it too.
I did
That was so
indeed. I
sweet.
did. It didn't matter to me that, well, actually, I have roots back on the East Coast. So when you said the Empire State, I actually knew which state you were talking about.
Well, and the thing is when I wrote this, where I had my accident take place and all that, I mean, I wrote it, it was 2006 when I wrote it, and it was looking at paper maps, and to go, where could this story feasibly take place?
Let me interrupt you. Some of you paper maps, you used to go into a gas station, okay, and you could get this thing that was about this size, but it unfolded to something about this size, and it was a map of wherever you wanted to go. Now,
Yeah. And I'm sure Google Maps or something of that equivalent was around then, but I'm so technologically advanced that
probably not.
I don't.
Well, I go
have no
back a
idea.
little. Well, I used to work in a gas station in the early 70s.
Oh no, I mean I'm talking about 2006 when I wrote
Oh, okay.
this.
All right. Well,
not in the 70s. No.
Such a youngster.
Yeah. No, but now I can put in Crooked Street, New York, and I can find it and then go look at it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm kind of pleased with how it came out, just how I envisioned what that looked like.
Do you
And-
use Google Earth? To
Yeah,
do that?
yeah,
okay,
oh, yeah. Not only could I look at it, I mean, you could do the little man and drop him
Yeah.
there,
Oh, yeah,
so I
yeah,
could
yeah.
stand and look, while sitting at my computer here, and look at where this
Yeah.
took place.
It's cool because they finally got my street. For years, Google Maps did not have Cascade Street. Now
Really?
they do, and I can look at my house. So
The little things
Yeah.
that we can do. So yes, and Almir, who I hope you can see this gorgeous snowflake that he created for me, has a drop of blood on the bottom of it. In fact, I love it so much I went and got it myself.
look at that. Oh,
And anyway, he lives in. He's an artist. He's a twin, and his brother Aram also does art as well. But he created this beautiful snowflake for me, and it's all his fault as to why there's a sequel coming, because he didn't know how to stop asking questions. But he's an artist. They both live in Las Tunas, Cuba, and they're just brilliant artists. And they got more art coming out for different books soon, which makes me really thrilled. And they also did like the artwork for. He did it for Almir did it for Killer Joe, the beautiful artwork for that, and he also did the poster for Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and had
remember that.
the little hat with the hidden
All right, now,
gun.
what Matthew's talking about is productions that have been down at the Riverside Playhouse. Killer Joe was actually put on by
Jared Morgan.
your friend Jared Morgan. Excellent show. My adopted granddaughter, Jane Standiford, was in it. Matthew was in it. The other people.
Yeah, Shannon James and Brian Higgins.
Right.
And Caleb Sims.
Yeah, Caleb Sims. This
The
was a
five
show.
of us. And it was a hell of a show.
Oh, it was
I never
great.
dreamed I'd be in a show like that.
It was great. It was.
But there are people that saw it that don't know that that's not me.
Really?
Isn't that strange that even this day and age there's still people that when you're performing something, they think that's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a month, some of the people I've met, I'm like, if a month later, if you went to see Pippin, you would have seen me as a grandmother,
right?
As opposed to
Completely
this
different
killer,
person,
cop
Right.
that I played, a very evil, ugly. Oh, he was a bad guy who enjoyed it.
He was not a pleasant person.
No, he was not.
This was not the type of play you left feeling good about yourself.
No, it was.
You looked into the deep, dark reaches of your soul, and you go, "Oh my gosh!" But A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, different show that
Yes.
you're talking about.
And
That
I
was
was-
also done by Music Theater Wenatchee down at the Riverside Playhouse. And for those of you who have never seen a live performance, go to one. I've got a story about that one. Maybe I'll share in a little
Yeah,
bit. But okay.
and thank you for mentioning Eastmont's Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief and the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. It's thrilling that we have these schools that do these wonderful shows that these kids get so excited to continue on doing art.
Have you seen the Spelling Bee show yet?
I was supposed to. I had a ticket for it and everything on Friday, and I tripped going to the bus. I had back surgery done.
Yeah.
And my back went, "Hey, go lay down." And so I just turned and went
I
back.
understand. Well, if you can catch it, But they have audience members actually come up on the stage.
Right? Yeah, that's been since the Broadway
My friend
show.
Mike Maston volunteered to do it the night we went Saturday. He stole, and my granddaughter Maya Scanlon was in it. She saw Mike's name, and she knows Mike as her fake uncle, is what we call him. So she said, "I'll take charge of him." And he stole the show. Gosh, it was so fun. Okay, we're here to talk about Matthew Pippin, who's just written a book. But so the story again. 9 strangers in a bus. Bus gets stuck in a snowstorm.
Yeah, there's an accident that happens thanks to the driver probably lifting too many during a blizzard.
Yeah.
Because they don't mess around with blizzards on the East Coast.
Oh, no, because the snow is much different back there.
Yes, it is.
It's wet and heavy.
And you get those nor'easters that come in.
Yes,
Just,
yeah.
whew.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they wind up in this isolated place, and there is without trying to give away too much, there is a piece of luggage that gets mentioned quite a few times, which is what led to my sequel, which is the green suitcase.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but we need to take a break.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so Street Talk and Other Stuff. Talking with Matthew Pippin. Matthew is a local performer, born and raised in Wenatchee, went to school in New York City, as he said. That he and I have that in common. So, different school, but we went there. But he's written a book called 9 Strangers. He's written a sequel called The Green Suitcase. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but hey, Street Talk and Other Stuff. You stick around. We will be right back. So.
It's me, Blippi! Blippi's back on stage with his brand new Wonderful World Tour.
I'm an excavator.
Sing, dance, and make new discoveries. In Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour with special guest, Mika.
My name is Mika. Yeah, it's nice to meet ya.
For tickets and more, visit BlippiOnTour.com. Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour.
I chose Pinnacles because they embrace and lift people with different learning styles.
It's a school where I can be myself, creative, and be successful.
There's a lot of hands-on activity, and
you get to really connect with the community here because we're all one. We get to see each other often. It's a small building.
The teachers care about you and make sure there is equity in the classroom.
They take care of them as a whole. They see them as a name, not a number.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and Other Stuff. Talking with my good buddy Matthew Pippin, who written a book called 9 Strangers. He has written a sequel called The Green Suitcase, and we're going to talk about that now. So, Uriah, if you would put up our image of the new book, of the cover, if you have that ready. There it is.
That's it.
So why don't you just give us a brief, you know.
This is also by Almir, by the way. I also made him put his signature in there, and it just makes me so happy. This image that he has come up with was actually in my head. How I wanted a scene like this green suitcase with a fish nibbling on the corner.
Okay.
I wanted that in the original story of 9 Strangers, but it didn't fit anywhere. And so I just let it go, and now it gets to be the cover of this book. And I love that people get to see what was in my head since 2007.
So we see that this suitcase is underwater.
Yep.
Can you discuss that without giving away too much?
I think so. There is a suitcase that gets brought out. It takes place in 9 Strangers, and this is actually how the story came to be. Is Almir asked me what happened to that green suitcase, because it gets mentioned quite a few times. And I said, look, it was a MacGuffin. It got two people to this isolated house that I needed them to be there, got him on the bus.
Yeah, there we go. We're back on the...
Yeah, and I got these 2 people on the bus that I needed to be there, and that's it. Well, yeah, but what happened to the suitcase? It doesn't matter. It's like the money in Psycho. Marion takes it, and she goes to the Bates Motel. She takes the shower. The money no longer matters, right?
Okay.
That's all it is. Yeah, but what happened? Leave the suitcase alone.
Well,
you know?
see, but that bothers people.
It
These
does.
loose ends that are hanging.
Well, and
you
to
know?
me, it wasn't a loose end.
But you're not reading the book. You know what happens to it. It's not fair.
And and so I just let it be. Whatever happened to that suitcase, let it happen. And so, but then he said, "Did I change anything from when I first wrote it to when I was typing it up?" And I said, "No, I didn't change anything. But originally, when I was writing it, I almost killed off one of the characters, and then I thought." And it would have been at the very end and bleeding out in the shed in the back of this house. And I thought, no, that's too cruel. It's after what these...
Well, it depends. Was this person somebody who your readers would be glad was bleeding out?
No, I don't think they would have been. And I thought, so I didn't even write it down. I thought, that's just too cruel to do to a reader. And Almir, and I hope this isn't going...
Obviously, he talks about Stephen King, but he hasn't read much of Stephen King. Too cruel to do to a reader?
Well, there are some things he's done that I think yeah. And so, to quote my mother, because I think Almir sent back, "You bastard," when I told him who I was going to... And I said, look, he's fine. He's... Oh, God, how old would he be? And then how... And so it winds up that this person that has survived my 9 strangers is now gets kidnapped on a road trip back to where the accident happened because that suitcase was never found.
Oh. So we still don't know what happened to the green suit?
Well, no, it does get an answer in this book, but
all right.
But without giving too much away.
From don't do that.
This story, but he winds up on and I think this will make this woman happy. My character has moved to Wenatchee.
Oh, okay.
And he works in a coffee shop, but he spends his time performing in local theater outside of...
a little,
Yeah.
Autobiographical stuff going on here. Okay.
And I've based him, I think people that when they read this, they'll know exactly who I pictured as this adult version of this character and grown up. And so I think that'll be fun to see. But then it goes off from Wenatchee, then it's a road trip to upstate New York.
All right. But you do mention some local people in this book.
I do.
Okay. You don't really mention them as citizens of Wenatchee, but you use their names.
Yeah, I used their names, and I used, and I'm going to pepper some more people in the next one too.
Cool. Good.
And where it fit, like my parents, I'm sure you noticed, are in this book.
Yes. Yeah.
But I wanted, because my parents are
You did not quite do your mom justice.
No,
I mean, you got there, but
I didn't have her swear as much. But she, like when she retired, because she and Dad, were at the old cop shop.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Mother was at the new one for a little bit before they moved to Nevada. But you had to walk by that window,
right?
And she would give the finger to the officers as they walked by. And when she
she did.
And she did. When she retired, somebody in a book that they had written, people signed for him and everything, one of those people said, "I'm going to miss your sign language lessons." And I put that in here.
Yeah, I remember.
But Mother and Dad, they're not only are they my parents, but they also have this fascinating friendship, I think. And I wanted, because so they aren't my characters.
The two of them do?
Yeah, Mother and Dad, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I wanted their friendship in this more than I wanted their marriage. So there's people that I base them on in this, but they aren't married in the book, but their friendship is there.
It's interesting that you put that, because again, Divergent, when I do marriage counseling, I always ask couples, do you like each other? Oh, we love you. No, I'm not asking if you love each other. Do you like this person? Because that's important.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Yeah. No, my parents are best friends.
Yeah.
And in fact, when they moved down to Nevada that first time, and because, I only known them here, and I asking them separately, and without, finding out what their answer is with some ulterior motive, how'd they feel about living there? And both of them said that it doesn't matter where we are as long as we're together.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And so they're content and happy.
Okay, so the green suitcase... this one you wrote a number of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is Green Suitcase. one you just recently wrote, or is it stuff that you've had before that you wrote back out?
No, when I finished typing this up, I ended on Vicki Michael's birthday. March 6th, if she watches this, that'll make her happy that she got mentioned. I wish there was a picture of her. But anyway, I finished up writing it March 6th last year, typing it up.
Right.
And I thought, I don't ever have to do that again. Woo! Because, I mean,
that's how I felt about my last gym class.
Well, and I was typing and the last day, just because it was getting to the point that I was editing as I was going along, and I thought, you can't edit what isn't there.
Right.
Just put it on the screen, then you can type it all you want and change things. And I did it on my off hours at the museum up in my little office, and
pay attention to that employer. He did it during his off hours.
They know. I made it quite clear.
Okay, good. It
was my off time, and so I was typing along, and that last day I went in on a day off, and I did it in 8 hours. And so by the time I was done, I thought, I don't ever have to type ever again. I'll never, ever write another story. Well, 10 days later was that conversation with Almir. Yeah. So March 16th last year, I started typing The Green Suitcase, and I finished it April 15th. I just couldn't believe how fast
over the course of a month.
Yeah.
Now, what's the length compared to this book?
It's a little shorter. I think it's 6,000 words shorter. This is 69,000 words. The other one's 63.
Only 69? Well, a murder mystery should be what?
85,000.
This is a joke we were talking about off camera.
Yeah, I was kind of amazed.
Not necessarily following the established rules that somebody made up somewhere along the line.
That they said if it's a mystery, it's got to be at least 80,000. Says who?
Right,
it's art.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be. How long was Agatha Christie's books? And I'm very big on Agatha Christie.
Yes, I know you are.
Loved her stuff and still do. But
that woman should have been investigated, because everywhere she went, somebody. I mean, come on, the cops would have said, "Wait a minute, she's obviously a suspect."
Well, and with this book, I released it on what I almost said Jessica Fletcher, Angela Lansbury's birthday, because Jessica Fletcher and all that, for Murder She Wrote, and she was never the one who done it, And that is my little tribute to her. And my next book, Green Suitcase, comes out on May 15th.
Okay.
And I know that we're going to have a release sale at the museum that day. I'll be doing signing and talking about it, and it'll be available on Amazon.
Okay. Well, I'll give you my apologies in advance. I will miss that. I will be on my annual RADS trip with my friends.
That's all right.
But I'll catch up with you when I get back.
Well, but when it comes to this, I mean, you miss things because you're out of town or whatever. Right. But when I'm doing a show or something, and I'll say, "Come see the show. Come see the show. Come see the show." You can only do so much, and it's the same. I've learned with books that I've written, I've typed, I've edited, I've published. You've taken it from me. You've bought it somewhere. I cannot make you read the book, and that's something that, and I'm not going to bully people into. When I published this first one, I thought I can say I did that.
You did. Okay, but we need to take a break.
Okay.
I'm with Matthew Pippin. Matthew's written another book called The Green Suitcase. You can get it on Amazon. It's going to be released May 15th.
Sequel to my 9 Strangers.
Okay, but we're going to take a quick break, come back and say goodbye. But hey, Street Talk and other stuff, stick around. We will be right back.
Check out ClubCrowCashmere.com for upcoming events and tickets.
Hey folks, Lehman here with Crown Furniture and Mattress. Folks, there's no question if you're looking for top quality furniture and mattresses, Crown Furniture and Mattress is the place for you. Whether it's FlexSteel's patented blue steel spring, Englander's 120 years of innovation, or Stanton's incredible comfort. Folks, we have it all. So stop by and see us today at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue.
Okay, we're back. Once again, Matthew Pippin, author of 9 Strangers in the Green Suitcase. But Matthew, hey, It is always a pleasure.
Thank
to
you
see
for having me.
Hey,
I always go so fast.
It's all right. I appreciate you tuning in. Street Talk and other stuff. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Your home runs on hot water. From the kitchen, to the bath, to the laundry. So Rheem offers a wide variety of water heaters from traditional models to ones smart enough to tell you how much hot water is available. On second thought, perhaps the laundry can wait.
We have a wide variety of prospects for you today, as you'll meet a softball phenom in Texas, a quarterback in Indiana, a basketball prospect in Missouri, and we'll even talk to rising stars in tennis and golf.
Plus, one of the best wide receivers ever, Randy Moss, is our Journey to Greatness feature.
All that and more is coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Welcome to Sports Stars of Tomorrow. I'm Charles Davis. We're getting outside for some spring sports today, and we'll start in Texas with one of the country's top prospects in softball. And that's this